Yeah, let's start the recording.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey everybody, it's the 23rd of January, 2025. This is Gimbalabs Live Open Spaces. We get together on Thursdays to talk about work we're doing and work that's upcoming. And this is the first time this year. It's the third Thursday that we're getting together. This is our first time really jumping back into our normal Thursday structure. I say normal. This structure emerged last year while we were experimenting with ways of working together. But it's what we've been doing for the last 6 months or so, and it's a working model. There's other ways that we can run this meeting, and there's probably new surprises that'll emerge this year. But here's the list of what we've got. So the way it's organized is we have projects in the proposal stage, the planning stage, the backlog, some that are up for review and consent, and projects in progress. Paused is also kind of like a backlog. It's just a helpful way to get things that are just loose ideas out of the way until they're ready for action. And here's some things we finished since we started using this system. So, just taking an initial look at what's in progress, you can see some of these have budget allocations because they've already been through community review and consent. Others, they don't have a budget stated right here. Some of that's because they're kind of standalone catalyst proposals. Um, yeah, I think that's the case in a lot of these. But it would be great to know what our budget is and what people want to be doing as contributors to each of these. So that's something we might look at. We're due for a review, and we usually do that the last Thursday of the month. So I would propose that we save that for next year, for next Thursday, which means today is kind of an open agenda. Does anybody want to focus on any of these areas first, whether we jump to those in need of consent or we focus on work in progress or new proposals? Anybody have any priorities today?
I'd love to, while you're here, James, do send Steve to Florida, which is a new
Oh, that just
proposal.
jumped into here.
Yes,
That
it
sounds
did.
great. Can we just see how quickly we can move through consent round on this?
Exactly, exactly. And it's a really basic proposal. Steve has opportunity to go down to Fort Myers for a one-day event. He is going to bring questions from our community about the DREP stuff. He's been involved with DREPs and the thinking about this for a minute. Um, it's a relatively small proposal budget of $1,000 in ADA. Um, and you can see some of the other like goals and outcomes there. I would love to get a clarifying round if anybody has like questions or get maybe a few minutes to scan through the proposal. And Steve is
I'm
here. Maybe he
dropping the
can.
link in the chat just in case anybody needs it.
Oh, Piotr's
Yeah.
here.
I don't know
So
if y'all have specific questions. I felt like if we're gonna be a D-Rep, then somebody should show up at a D-Rep event. I personally, these dynamics that are really coming at us like a tidal wave with now that the hard fork is more or less official, we're gonna be presented with a budget from Intersect, and we'll have to vote on the Constitution.
Yep.
And I, you know, I'm not the most well-informed person, but the stuff that I hear, I I think there's reason to be somewhat forward about getting to know. other DREPs in the community. I'm glad Scott's working with this DREP collective. I think that based on what I've heard and the decision making that goes on, it's like the movers and shakers and deciders kind of do things based on, feedback from the big wallet DREPs. And so I think that we should all be considering how to collaborate with the less well delegated DREPs, because it's the northern hemisphere dominates in Cardano as well as the world. And like I just think it's shit that we have to start to be strategic about, and getting to know and being visible is part of all that, in my view. So that's kind of what I said. And I'd love it if somebody had some things they wanted me to specifically find out or ask about or question.
All right, thanks, Steve. Does anybody have any I guess the first thing that we want is like, do you understand the do you understand the proposal? It's basically just to make a transfer of 1,000 US in ADA to Steve to to cover his expenses on the travel and the hotel. I think he's gonna drive down. I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at hands raised.
To Steve's last point about intended outcomes, yeah, does anybody have any intended outcomes you would want to add to the list that's on the screen here?
Well, can y'all zoom in a little bit, please? Because this is
Yeah.
probably like 8-point font on my screen.
Is that so? Here's some
Yeah.
intended outcomes right here.
Yeah, Gimbalabs is effectively represented at the event. Network opportunities with other DREPs are leveraged. A better understanding of the DREP role and its nuances. Um, Steve says some nuanced discussions are going on in regards to the constitution that was signed in Argentina. Get some in-person understanding of the different viewpoints. The Gimbalabs community will feel more informed, having their opportunity to engage in the discussions with others in the community. Yeah. And then his personal benefit is an outcome, which is like his personal and professional growth and opportunity to network and stuff. So that's definitely a good benefit. Any questions? Okay, Alex, what's up?
Yeah, one intended outcome at the line there says Steve sends photos.
Ah, yes. Okay. So requirements, and I think that's in there.
Evaluation criteria.
Oh, well, yeah, here it is. Is there a picture of Steve with famous Cardano people? It's a Boolean thing. Yes. And
Oh man.
and Steve, I mean, what type of, do you want to, it would just be great if you made yourself available to answer questions, or maybe we can just give you a time as we close out the proposal afterwards where you can talk about the thing. You don't have to I wouldn't think that you'd need to make a report, but it would be great if you would give some type of
Oh, yeah.
explanation.
We need Steve to come and back and tell us a story.
Yes, story time.
I don't know
Story
if
time
he's
with
up
Steve.
for it.
Yeah.
Has he proven himself capable of this outcome?
I'm telling a story. Well, I tell you, Quasar is going down there, so there will for sure be a story per day. I'm sure.
Picture of
Also,
Steve and Quasar.
all photos need to show your arms also, from your shoulders all the way to your hands.
That's reasonable.
Why that much body? Why do you
That
need
way
to see
we
that
know
much?
it's not. That way we know you're not chilling in the mountains and it's AI generated.
Oh, okay.
Your fingers, buddy. We need to see your fingers.
Well, I'm actually, this is what I've been talking to Quasar for years, and this is kind of proof of non-artificial intelligence.
Have you ever met
actually meet
face to face?
Quasar. No,
Have you guys ever met face to face?
no.
After
Well,
all this time, damn,
that
that's
seals
awesome.
it. That seals my
Yeah,
vote.
that
I think
seems
I'm ready.
Uh,
I'm ready for
uh,
the consent. Does anybody have any concerns
and
and
when
or
it comes
objections?
just
I
to
object. I
resources here,
object. Shut it
remember
down.
one of the
Oh,
reasons we do this, right? One of the reasons we need this process is for the times when we're asking for other people to spend their time, or if we're
yeah.
asking to use funds, right? If you don't need any funds or other people's times, you don't need a proposal. You can just go do things, right? So really look at now the resources required. What we need to do is use 1,000 USD worth of ADA from the Gimbalabs treasury, send it over to Steve. Does that feel like an okay use of resources to make sure this proposal comes to life?
I would instead of a new Discord channel in Gimbal Labs, maybe a new Discord category for Gimbal
Mhm.
Labs. That way concerns don't get buried in the conversation. I mean, I know there's threads and everything else, but people rarely use threads. So that's the only change I would personally make myself.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing as Scott. I'm really happy with this. I think it's really important what Steve's doing. But if we could just, yeah, maybe a bit of light on it on Discord. I think there's a DREP set up now, but if that could just be a channel just initially with a notification where we can sign up
Yeah.
to it, um,
Yeah.
that would be great.
No,
And also if
there's,
Steve could have maybe an open floor next time for 15, 20 minutes to go through what he's found,
Yeah.
that'd be
mhm.
really handy as well, maybe.
I really feel like I feel for anybody who's just kind of like busy doing their own thing and they want to like take a quick look and see what's happened with DREP shit or just the governance process in general, because it is really, really difficult to find information.
You've
It's
just
difficult
explained
to,
me. That's me, Steve.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I think, in this kind of focus, it would be great, I think, for all of Gimbal Labs to just have a place to, so that they don't have to go to fucking Twitter to look up stuff, because that's unfortunately the sad truth about a lot of this stuff.
I'm pretty fired up for Andamio to help be that tool, giving us a
Uh,
repository of stuff that people can go through with the embedded conversations there. Scott, what do you say?
Yeah, I'm not trying to self-promote. I have a GitHub repo on Cardano governance that follows all the way up to the Constitution in Argentina. And I mean, I can put a link in it. Again, I'm not trying to self-promote. It's just I put it together for the community and maybe it's useful, maybe it's not. So
Well,
just
that
wanted to
should
share.
be, that would be something that I would say, let's pin in that DREP channel, so that it's just ready.
Yeah. And
So
that
are
could
you think,
easily be something, yeah, people might really want to start contributing to that repo. That's really exciting. Thanks.
Mhm.
and so so are we, can we decide on that we will have a DREP Discord channel or a DREP Discord thread or category? Which of those should I write down in the proposal here?
Should I just make a category right now?
I don't know what the difference between a category and a channel
If
is.
Yeah,
you look in the Gimbal Labs Discord right
Oh,
now, you'll see like playground is a category, and then
ah,
under it, notices is a channel. So a
okay.
yeah,
category just gives you a collection of channels.
Ah,
I'd go
okay.
with
Okay.
category, and then that way you can have resources like governance resources or DREP
Yeah.
resources under
So
there, and then
what should I call the category? DREP governance?
Yes.
How's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. I love it, man. We are working and we're gonna pin Scott's or pin Scott's GitHub repository. Because I definitely think that's something that we as Gimbal Labs, to support sort of contributors contributing, you know, pinning Scott's. How do you all feel about that? I love that idea.
well, I mean, I would prefer y'all look at the link first and then then determine if it's pin worthy. I mean, there's a lot of information in there, but yeah, it's in the
Well,
chat.
yeah. Okay. Consider pinning Scott's. There we go.
I just made two new channels, Learn Cardano Governance and DREP Chat. Just let me know if we need other ones. It's a public category. Okay. And the channels inside should be too.
No.
Can everybody see it? Just let me know. If you can't see it, let me know, but we should be good there.
Yeah, I see him, James. Could it be possible to just have a one additionally onto that, just a notice one at the top that just gives the DREP number, just so we can
Oh,
come straight to it if anybody wants it.
Let me make an announcement channel.
Yeah.
And we can just post some essentials there.
Sorry to interrupt again. I see the channels. I don't see a category. So the channels are at the top, but I don't see the category that they're under.
That might be a local setting of Discord. I'm not sure how that works.
Right. It might just be refreshing. That's just checking.
I'm gonna see online.
I'll just pin a link right there. All right. Good. Well, can we do a 3-minute consent round for this one? Sometimes a proposal. This is an example of one. Obviously, we're already getting some other things done right here. But I think this is an example of one with scope where we could just do a quick round if anybody has objectives, but we don't need to do the full everybody saying their piece just to move quickly.
Yep.
Yeah, does anybody have any objections to this proposal as it's currently written? Steve goes to Florida, represents Gimbalabs at a workshop this weekend, reimburses for up to 1,000 USD in expenses. Any objections?
So yeah, Andrew's got a thumbs up, but raise your hands if you have any objections, and we'll give it another few 10, 15 seconds. And then after these seconds are done, then we'll ask for consent. And then you can give a thumbs up or say yes. And it would be great if you just typed in yes or on the thing or gave some affirmative symbol on the participants. I figure that would be a good way.
That's really
So we
nice.
given,
Okay.
yeah, let's do it. Okay, so Alex is giving
Do
a
it.
thumbs up. So please, Scott has said 4.
You can unmute and say hip hip hooray.
Yeah, you could do any affirmation would be great. Or abstain. Okay, Harsh has given the party symbol. Alex is doubling up the party symbol. Q. Piotr is good. Monique.
I don't have any
Martin.
any emojis here when I'm sharing screen, but woohoo.
Monique gives a
All right.
thumbs up. Okay, I feel like that's passed.
Beautiful. So now here's what we do. Look, we take this proposal right here. We say that it is in progress. Nice job, everybody.
Yay.
20 minutes to move through a quick consent process on that one. That feels really good. And now when I go back to our list of projects, that one is no longer in community review and consent. It's down here. Send Steve to DREP debate. Awesome. Congrats, Al.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that. All right, so I got to jump, but really excited to be back here full time next week. I know there's a lot of things to catch up on, so we're looking forward to that. But yeah, have fun, everybody.
All right.
Talk soon.
All right.
Bye.
Cool. Let's go to the Miro board, and if anybody has any other proposals or projects to bring up while I'm bringing that down, that would be cool. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Sharing my screen. Full screen, this screen.
We could go over the Dandelion agenda maybe for tomorrow.
Oh, that'd be cool. Let's bring up this guy. Okay, you guys can see that. I hope. Nope, not that one. F11. There we go. I do. So Dandelion Agenda is a good or is a good thing. I do want to talk about the wrapping up this sort of governance season. Um, and you can look at this mirror board. I'll put it in the chat, and maybe we'll start over at Dandelion. And how long do you think you might need, Martin?
I don't think it's long. Maybe 10
Okay,
minutes
cool.
maximum.
Do you want to share your screen, or you want to send something over to me?
I can send you the link.
I just
It's
drop it in the chat. Well,
yeah, it fits into
Good stuff. And while you're doing that, I can briefly. Basically, these were the categories from last year, and then this year's the purples are the needs, like Gimbalabs needs, and then the greens are the I want to, and sort of categorize them. I also asked ChatGPT to summarize them. That's all down in here. So that would give you a thing to briefly look over. And here is the Notion. Aha. Soft launch meeting. Make this big. Nice. Now the real. Okay. Martin.
Yeah,
We've
it's
got
moving.
we've got like another hour to go. I guess we don't have to fully stay, but take your time and we'll settle into this Dandelion. I'm actually really looking forward to this. It's a fun 13 funded proposal that you're sort of onboarding and getting ready. Let's see what you got.
Yeah. Well, we want to start tomorrow, 3 o'clock UTC. Or no? Is that 3 o'clock? 3 o'clock my time. It's 2 o'clock UTC, maybe. I don't know. I have to.
Oh, let's pin that down. Let's figure out what that is, because
That's what did I
that's a good
say?
battle.
Oh, I said 3 o'clock UTC. Well, that's what it is now.
Oh, on like in a tweet or somewhere. I mean,
Yeah, and on the Discord. There's a Gimbalabs channel for Dandelion, so that's where all my communication is going.
let's pull that up too. This looks like this. Yeah, 3 o'clock UTC. Okay, yeah. All right, so let's put this one in here. You know what? Actually, sorry about this. We'll just do it over here. Now I can edit in case there's changes. And this one is in progress, I think.
Yes.
There it is, right there. No, open.
Yeah, you
And
can
full screen.
you get to the same place as the link I sent. If you press open there, you
Yeah.
get the same thing.
So let's put down 1500 UTC. Perfect. Okay. And this is the agenda that you're going to run through.
Well,
Tomorrow.
let's see how far we get in the time we have. The main thing is introduction and looking for we have some people invited and looking for who is interested and if we can collaborate on installing API services very easy, which has always been the main target of Dandelion because sometimes that is hard work and it's a shame because it's the same stuff for everybody and there's no reason to duplicate efforts. So we're trying to make a place, and I think Gimbalabs governance is a perfect place for this to share knowledge and learn. So that would be very useful and like it's almost more than 50% of the blockchain experience of Cardano is actually in the server API side. So I think it's an important and maybe not enough exercise the developer experience. So yeah, I just
Yeah.
want to do. We've got funded for 199,000 ADA, so it's quite a lot, and we can do a lot with it. So I think we have several pieces of it, and first we want to celebrate that we got this opportunity. Thanks in part to the Cardano Foundation for putting us on the list. So yeah, some people got lucky with that,
Oh,
didn't.
right.
Yeah, checking round. I want to follow your normal way of doing things at Gimbalabs. I think that's cool, and always gives everybody a chance to say something. And yeah, I've finished the milestone approvals, so it should be all approved. I have to do a test transaction, and well, there's maybe some last bits, but we can still maybe make some improvements or discuss them. A big part of this proposal is doing DNO funding, which is decentralized node operators or Dandelion node operators, like an SPO, only then for API services is the idea. And we can discuss hardware requirements, and people who will join will be, there's some people who are already running nodes, but yeah, if people are interested, there's funding available for running your own API services. There's an education part to make people also able to contribute to Dandelion and running it. So I think that's a part of it. It's part of Gimbalabs education, so it should also be a part of this. And there's a milestone 4, which is long-term maintenance. So there's already some wish list items I like, but it is not anything that is pinned down already. Everybody can, add their own things they would really like, and we can discuss and vote on maybe what gets approved for this. So this could be like a treasury. It's 60,000 ADA. So there's a lot of stuff we can spend on doing maintenance work. And yeah, everybody who, like we already do with Gimbalabs, the idea from my side at least is to have like a task list. And yeah, Gimbalabs has that task list as well. Everybody who signs up for a task can get funding discussed
Ah,
before.
aha. So this, okay. So I was wondering what you kind of needed from us in the community, and basically, I mean, would it be correct to say that you're looking for contributors, basically in an open source way, and, that there will be an open task list with some compensation attached, and there would be jobs, gigs, things for the community to do. Is
Exactly.
that
If you're already doing this stuff, you can, participate and get some, funding for what you're doing.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions about that, or is anyone interested? Um, uh, while we've got Martin here. I'm trying to think of what, yeah, I'm kind of curious as to what kind of, because I'm really interested in documentation and sort of building out things. So perhaps something is involved, but there's only so many things that like we get busy.
Yes. So,
Yeah. I'm
but
looking at who is working with Dandelion right now? Because I still I know that it's sort of a core component of Gimbal Labs, and I guess it was founded by one of the OG Gimbal Labs guys.
yeah, Roberto is the guy who started it.
Yeah.
Game Changer wallet uses it a lot, and from there we have made this Dandelion Lite thing, which makes it easier to install to now be able to invite more people.
Nice. I'm trying to bring up the proposal. Oh, I remember this, like the getting some hardware. So that would be interesting if anybody was like hardware curious. Um, I think that might be kind of fun. What kind of projects might be available for contribution?
Well, it is a server architecture, and I I'm I would like to maybe make it very broad. So at the moment we have services like GraphQL and Coils, which are services, but any of the currently running services can be added, I think,
Uh-huh.
as long as it's decentralized server side architecture things, you know.
Yeah.
Let maybe Cardano focused at the moment, but I'm open to even other stuff, you know. I really like taking back control of the internet to run your own open services like Jitsi and Nextcloud and all that stuff is, you know, interesting to me.
Right. Right.
Let's do
All right.
education on Nextcloud.
What's that, Alex?
Let's do Nextcloud.
Does anybody have experience with Nextcloud? Is
Nextcloud.
Nix? Ah,
Yeah.
right.
Nextcloud.
Yeah, Nextcloud. Let's build. I don't know what can you build there. I looked into NixOps. It's kind of a strange beast.
Yeah, I know that some people are using Nix, and it's sort of a Web3 thing because of the dependencies and making sure that you've got the exact, you know, constellation of softwares in your project. Um, I get it, but I've not figured it out much. It does seem like a very scary animal to me. Um, but if you became a Nix expert, that would be great. Now, is Dandelion a I'm not. I for a little bit there, I was confusing it with Marlowe, which is totally not the same thing.
It's very, very different.
Yeah. Um, where is like the primer for Dandelion? Like,
I
should
think it's
really be here in
a driver.
background or the primer. Like, what what would be? It would really good go in this background and rationale. Um, like a link to the Dandelion. Like if you did a search for Dandelion Network Cardano, like what would appear? Open search on DuckDuckGo.
I think
Let's see.
there is some website from Roberto still.
Oh gosh. Hold on a sec. All right.
And Martin, I
Um,
sent you a Martin, I sent you a message in the chat for Zoom for tomorrow.
Here we go.
Yeah, system requirements is you know, a topic we can for sure discuss, but yeah. DB Sync is not it's a beast. It's not light on your system. But yeah, it's with most blockchain architectures, we're still lucky with Cardano that it's manageable. So
All right. Okay, so okay, so now we know that there's going to be a little kickoff meeting, so like a whole big meeting tomorrow, 1500 UTC. you've given us a little bit of the what's going to happen there. So I think unless there's any questions, and uh, Martin, if you want to like kind of wrap up or give any final thoughts.
No, that's it. I just want to give a little bit more detailed, as you said, you didn't know exactly what dandelion meant, but yeah, that's why I wanted to.
Yeah, it's funny
It's not
because
so easy. I understand.
well,
So
well, it's funny because there's just so many things coming, and I remember reading your proposal and going through this proposal and sort of getting an idea in my head what it is, but then like coming back to it, I'm like, what is it again? Yeah, that's right, okay.
like
Um,
everybody knows what SPOs are, but an SPO doesn't do anything of the querying. So a developer still needs to get this information, and it's not coming from a node. The node only does blockchain propagation. So all that information is stored in the node, but you still have to get it out somehow. And that's all outside of the scope of what SPOs do.
and it falls into the scope of what a dandelion instance or the dandelion tool set would
It's
do.
it's querying the blockchain because
Okay.
developers need to react to something which happens on the blockchain.
Yeah,
So you can't go to an SPO and ask the node questions. It doesn't answer. So
right.
you will have to
Interesting.
you will have to download and dissect the whole blockchain, synchronize it, put it in a database, and then you can query what is going on.
So, are there any SBO folk here? Do you run an SBO? Scott, do you have an SBO? I mean, Gimbalabs has an SBO. Who's involved with the Gimbalabs SBO?
James mostly runs it, I think.
Yeah. And this is gonna transition us over into the wrap up of the governance, our yearly governance season. Because if somebody was to come to Gimbal Labs and say, I'm really pumped, I want to learn SPOs, and I could get it, because it's like people that like get into cars. I mean, I'm going to use an analogy because I love analogies. Like just say they're into cars and they show up and they're like, I love like putting, you know, big spoilers on my car and changing out the rims, and and then I got into car detailing, and then somebody's like, you know what? Actually, as I did that, I realized that it's really just about the engine. You know, the engine is where it's at. So now I want to get into the engine of things. It's the most like fundamental thing about a car. And I feel like SPOs are like fundamental to the blockchain and Cardano. So if you can learn and have a concept and have a tool set, a skill set of working with an SPO, then you're really doing something fundamentally different. Um, it's just basically moving from like front end and design, basically design work, uh, and then to like the off-chain back end databases. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of things to get into, and I think it would be cool if we knew a little bit about all of these things. But there's got to be some people to specialize, um, and Gimbal Apps could be something that we all sort of specialize in. With that in mind, it's something that we look down at all these things that people want to do, but I don't see. I mean, I guess use the Cardano network. I mean, is that an SPO? As an SPO, is that what the Cardano network is? It's a network of SPOs.
You can you can use the network for many more things than that. I mean, like my specific goal, and somebody will probably steal it from me since it's not available in the community yet, is chain forensics, right? Blockchain forensics for the Cardano community or ecosystem.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I haven't seen any interface to where you can actually query without running your own, without running your own node or paying something in return for it. I haven't seen
Yeah.
anything. So correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yes. And blockchain forensics is just is figuring out like where all these transactions go and come and go. That's what I'm imagining what blockchain forensics is.
I think there's a tool for that called Cerberus. I see that coming sometimes.
How do you spell that? It's like the big three-headed dog, the
Yeah, I think it's
SER.
with an X, but
Oh,
all
okay.
these tools like if you want to use Blockfrost or Coils online, there's just like all these tools are, you have to pay for it eventually. And sometimes people want to go to the mechanic's shop to fix their car, and sometimes you want to do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Martin, to run a Dandelion Light node, what sort of setup would you be looking at?
I have uh, a pretty fast desktop CPU, like 79 AMD 7990 or something. I can't remember exactly, but it's like not the most expensive one, but
Yeah.
it is in the sweet spot, and you can use that. So you don't need to have exotic stuff, but yeah, it's not free or not it's not like running Raspberry Pis, which you see some people did before, but yeah, you need to have a beefy PC. And recommended is SSD, which is normal. And I use 128 gigabytes of memory,
Oh,
which is
wow.
a lot.
Yeah.
But you start to run up to 60 gigabytes of memory pretty quickly while synchronizing your DB sync. After that, it drops down. But yeah, it's just nice to have headroom, and it's not free, but it's not really expensive anymore, this memory. So I don't see the point in going lower. So yeah, that's
There could be
Okay.
a reward program
Thanks.
on Cardano, like contribute to Cardano, upgrade your computer. Because now there's a big gap there,
Yeah.
like my laptop has 16 gigabytes of memory, and there isn't much experimenting I can do, right? And moving
Yeah.
along all the time is a bit
I'm
yeah.
sorry. 16 gigabytes it's not enough to synchronize the
Not enough.
blockchain.
Yeah,
Not
also you
enough.
need a house and a place to put the server in, right? That's good requirements.
Actually, I would love to because I think that that's I in my mind a community would sort of, I don't know. I think that that's a good one to sort of get on the thing. There's a big barrier to entry, and if that's what's a blocker, then then maybe we can do stuff about that. I feel like that. Yeah, well, it's kind of that gets into kind of. But if we took all those projects, the funding for all those giant projects, and just gave out Gookum nice, capable hardware to individuals, it's the libertarian in me that says that would change Cardano more than giving four people 1.5 million or even 500,000 ADA. 500,000 ADA to computers to people, I think would make more of a difference. It's
And
just a
that's
perspective.
that's what we're trying to do, make it also that side decentralized.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's the hip hop and the New York. You know why hip hop started? You guys know this story? Is that there was a blackout and all of this music equipment got, you know, I mean, basically stolen and put into the ecosystem, and it made an incredible new art form that changed the world. And you
Amazing.
think about it, the stuff that was stolen, maybe $100,000 worth of stuff, maybe $200,000 or $300,000, not that much. We give
Yeah.
away that in Gimbal, we give away that in Project Catalyst, monthly, and And then, so what I'm saying is just like, yeah, and it wasn't controlled and it was created and it was just, I don't know. I feel
Yeah,
like
look at the value it's created. It's amazing.
exactly total industry. And, yeah, but I'm not saying we should steal anything, but we should, not just keep doing the same, just not keep doing the
No.
same crap that we've been doing and, expecting different results. Like, so if we give these, I don't know. I feel like, yeah. But anyway, that is my soapbox. Scott, what's up?
Yeah, sorry if you hear any background noise. I got contractors upstairs. But yeah, Quasar and I had this discussion, I think yesterday or sometime, but it was on the same lines as like maybe handing out Chromebooks to those people who are unable to buy laptops and stuff of that nature, as long as the Chromebook meets the specs for whatever development you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So at least do a better platform, especially, that for the disadvantaged or the unrecognized communities across Cardano.
Yeah. One thing that's sort of the hardware side, but there's also software. For instance, I finally I just bit the bullet. I was just like, you know what, $100 is not a year is not going to crush me to get an Otter, an AI note taker, even though I can't get it in here. But it's really been changing my thing. I'm able to get these great AI summaries of meetings that happen. Um, uh, like graphic design tools. Like what no one really put down that I want to, I don't know, maybe I have to have a cool portfolio, but there's a lot of graphic design that a community like Gimbalabs sort of needs. Right now we lean a lot on Pabon, Sebastian, but wouldn't it be great if a front end designy kind of person came and then we gave them $50 a month in design tools? That would get them a Miro account, that would get them Canva, and maybe some other things, like so that they could build like at least they're not handicapped trying to use the the not new fresh stuff. I don't know. I think that it goes into that terms of blocker. Like here's something that you want to do, and we've got these green stickies of like what you want to do. And I'm not exactly certain if this is everything that everyone here wants to do. I would love to, if we everybody was just in a really natural state and they really thought about what they want to do. Um, like would it look like this? And would there be things on there that are not represented? Um, and and then yeah, it just seems like that's like a real democratic, like decentralized, like okay, what exactly does each individual, each node, each contributor want to do? And then we go about supporting that. Or maybe it's out of scope and you're like, oh no, that's out of scope. But I think design work in a community is in scope. It yeah. Um, but anyway, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's about those things. Zooming out literally now. We have about 30 minutes left. I think that, Harsha's still here. Hey, Harsha, do you want to, let's see if we can pick up the thread here and talk about this our our driver basically in here. And we can have, so shifting gears over to our primary driver. This primary driver is supposed to sort of align. I mean, the reason to have a primary driver is to align and give us a way to talk about the proposals that come through. If you remember, if you look at the top of our proposal, oh, this is the proposal driver. So each proposal has its own driver, and then it aligns to, oh, maybe not in this one. Martin, what are you doing here, buddy? Here's the proposal drivers. Okay, we changed the driver here, but let's go back here real quick. We'll bring up. Why? What do you click on Notion? Come on, Notion. There we go. You just have to mouse over things. Notion sometimes is a bit of a bear. Okay, here we go. So Gimbalabs primary driver, that's what this goes. That's what this thing is supposed to be for. I'm just trying to give everyone a little bit of a context. So this thing goes at the top of each of our proposals, and then there's a driver for the proposal, like basically how this aligns, and gives context. So does this, and so the question is, does this need to change based on what we all want to do in the next year? That's sort of where we're at. Talk to me, Harsha.
I think it doesn't have to change, at least for what I want to do, it doesn't have to change. Is there someone who thinks what they want to do doesn't fit into the driver? I'm just curious.
My thing about the driver, and I'm gonna vamp for a moment, let other people come up. It doesn't say anything about, I guess, to learn and to explore. And I brought this up in the last meeting. It feels like it's the water we're breathing in. I want to learn about Cardano development. And when I think about Cardano development, I think about Mesh and Plutus and Aiken and Cardano CLI. I think about basically front end, back end, off chain, on chain. I don't think, for instance, about Dandelion and SPOs and the Cardano nodes, like that layer. So should it be more explicit? That's my fundamental question here. Should it be more? Is it too wishy-washy? So that's another issue that I've got. I'm just going to start talking. That's another issue that I got, is that it's like a goal statement or a vision statement for a group or a community. It's kind of, it sort of feels like it has the potential to be kind of BS and kind of, not really used. And that's why one where we really try to think about it each year, and just, does it reflect? Is this BS? Can it be more not BS?
So for me personally, I think if we try to overfit it, we might be taking away from the bigger vision of Gimbalabs, I think.
Yep. That would be the pitfall in the other direction. And that might be, and that's sort of what we decided. That's sort of what we decided this was. This was a little too narrow in scope, right? Because the AI just took everything and made it very, prescriptive, descriptive. Collaborative problem solving, experimentation, knowledge sharing. I like build impactful technologies, foster meaningful relationships, refine innovative ideas, create long-term value. I mean, it's not bad. Solve meaningful problems is sort of build impactful technologies or build impactful solutions.
I think personally the driver from the previous year is more like okay, we set the space, and you guys figure out what to do in the space. And then the one that AI came up with is more
Yeah.
like, hey guys, let's get together and let's do this. And then we all know, okay,
Ah,
you know.
yes. Harsha, doesn't that say what you're, like keeping it in this broader, more inclusive thing? And Piotr, I think you're saying it correctly. Like this is a container for us to work in, and it's expansive, open-ended. Where this is a little like this is exactly what we want to do, and it may limit us unnecessarily. But is that what Piotr, is that sort of saying it?
Yes, you're correct. I mean, it depends how we look at how we look at the new driver, but
Yeah.
That's more or less what I was thinking. Yeah, but I wasn't thinking in terms of like narrowing too much.
Wait a minute,
Like,
you weren't thinking in terms of what?
because you say that the new driver may
Yeah.
limit us, like be too narrow, and I'm just saying that. Yeah, I wasn't thinking that way, but
Oh, yeah, okay,
could
yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah. Right. It may like the new one, the proposed the AI one. Let's call it the AI one because none of us wrote this. We just dropped in the stuff to the AI. Is it narrow? I guess not. I mean, I think we could get along with either, but I don't. I think that it's one of those things that if we don't have to change it, I mean, is it serving our needs? Like, will this align? When you're writing a proposal, does it, can you, you know, spaces? Yeah. I feel okay with it.
Are we
Harsha's giving the
discussing?
thumbs.
I'm sorry. Are we
Yeah.
just got discussing the AI driver for 2025? Yeah.
Well, we're comparing contrast and sort of consent. So at the end of this, and I think this would help with folks that we, as this group of 8 of us, we say, yep, we like this driver, or we would like to go with this driver, or we want to continue to build on the driver. That's sort of my plan. So right now, I guess we haven't really started the consent rounds, but we could say, does anybody object, or does anybody have a clarifying question about like what the driver is, how it's used, or anything about what's going on? Oh, Kevin's coming. Kevin's here. So that's sort of where we are, and I wouldn't mind. Yeah, we'll do our consent rounds in a bit after we've if everybody is clear on what we're doing. Everybody, hey Kevin, welcome. What you see on the screen is the current Gimbalabs driver, Gimbalabs primary driver. It's at the top of every proposal that we've done this year. And we went through this big long process about what we want to do and what Gimbalabs needs. Could someone drop this Miro board link for Kevin? And so we sorted these around, and we dropped it into the AI, and it gave us this newer driver, and we're sort of talking about these two side by side as to, does this last year's primary driver, does it still satisfy the need, or should we make slight changes to it, or should we adopt another driver?
I think
All
we
right.
should be ready for a consent round, Newman. I mean,
Okay.
everyone has seen it like multiple times, no?
Yeah, for sure. All right. So, and let's do, since we've got a little bit of time, let's do a full-on round. Um, and I'll go through on my list here to to do a round. And I'll keep a record to driver. Keep this. So this is the consent round for the driver. Here are the names. Um, Kevin, and then Andrew. Kevin, I know that you just joined us. Maybe you want to go at the end. But let's start with Andrew and then go to Harsha. And you're
Yeah.
just yeah.
Sorry, Newman, what were you going to say?
Yeah, so yeah, just as a consent round, just to refresh you, it's just to say if you have any objections or concerns, an objection is something, hey, I can't allow it to go as is, and I need some more information, or just a concern is just a feeling, whether you like it or not, or etc. So just to make a short statement about this driver, and then we'll go to Harsha.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, for me, I like the 2024 human-made driver. For me,
Okay.
I guess Gimbalabs is all about, well, it's sort of like building a open community, aren't we? Where we build and we listen and we make plans to use the blockchain as best as possible. Yeah, I like how that driver sounds, and sort of I'm here for those reasons, primarily to learn and explore. And we
Okay.
can do that in a community open manner, then that's even better.
I like it. Cool. Harsha, then Martin.
Yeah, I'm also okay with the 2024 driver. I think it makes sense and it pretty much says everything I want to know about Gimbalabs. Yeah.
Okay. I like it. Martin and then Monique.
Yeah. What strikes me is both don't mention Cardano. While we're nobody here seems to be even considering doing something outside of Cardano.
Okay.
So that is kind of curious, maybe. And yeah, something which, yeah, maybe in a negative way pops out at me is 2025 is value, where value is, yeah, it's a pretty
Yeah.
hard. Do you want to create value? Is that, yeah, you want to do stuff that makes sense, but
Right.
yeah, value is such a thing of, does it have to do with money or or your values
Right.
as a person?
Right.
It's very broad.
Yes, I love that. That's actually really good feedback. And that's not in the current one. So it kind of like sidesteps that thing. Yeah, that's good. Monique and Piotr.
I like the 2024 driver. I think it's comprehensive. There's a handful of things that I like about the 2025. There's lots of words in the 2025. In some ways, it some things feel maybe unnecessary. I think that the terms used in 2024 are pretty comprehensive. I do like certain terms, like I like collaborative and I like knowledge sharing, but I think the 2024 driver is more than adequate, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
So.
feedback. Yep. Piotr and then SR, our friend Scott.
Hmm. I like
What do you think? It's not, you could also be like, well, but yeah, whatever thoughts you've got. And the folks that have gone already, these are good feedbacks. That's really good feedbacks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends where the Gimbalabs want to go, because I feel like the 2024 is really like for people to learn technology and Cardano and sort of like, if you want to participate but you don't know much about how to participate, you can join and learn. And the 2025 is more like for people who know that they can contribute in some way and then just get together and do stuff.
Yeah.
It's more like, but yeah, I mean, I personally I like 2025, and I can also empathize with others that others like 2024. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's great feedback, actually. All right. All right. Thank you so much for that. Scott and then Kevin.
Then well, all right, the create long-term value I think is important because that's something that Gimbalabs has talked about for many years, and that's
Yes.
not the 2024. Although I agree with the 2024, I was not necessarily here for most of it. And then like neither one of them really point at, aside from empowering individuals and organizations, neither one of them really point to like teaching and like the knowledge share, which that's not, knowledge share is into 2025. Knowledge share is not necessarily directly listed in 2024. So
Right.
those are my only two things that I saw.
Yep. 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 That's great feedback. And Kevin, and then I'll go last.
It's okay, Newman. I was a bit late, so please continue.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, do you have any sort of thought on this on the driver? It's no, it's it's not about being late or anything, unless you don't have a thought on it. I can go.
Well, yeah, I contributed some thoughts last time. I hope you used them, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I feel I definitely recognize all the points that have been brought up. Um, especially on that those there's a couple of terms which give some light in the 2025. It's more uh it describes what could come from the 2024, but in my opinion there's not a huge blocker to using this. I yeah yeah so I feel like that we can consent to this 2024. um and now I guess is the sort of last round of like, is there like an objection if we were to consent to this and use this driver as is the 2024 driver? Um, how would that feel to people, and are there any objections? And this one, so now we've kind of gotten those points, and I feel like that we could use those points like creating long-term value, um, the idea of learning how to participate versus what uh like the idea that in this one it's open-ended and this one is a little more like it's a little more clear as to know exactly what you are doing. I don't know. I do have some concerns. I do have some concerns about this one. You know what I wouldn't mind doing is putting hey, let's look at this instead of going the whole year. Let's look at this in July and see if if it's changed anything. Because ultimately, I want everyone here to have a proposal in Gimbalabs. And I think everyone here is working on in some way on a proposal in Gimbalabs, and I want them to feel like this driver, that they are connected to this driver and not just a sort of yeah, that's something on the wall, and it's just at the lead of things, but something that actually means something. I mean, ultimately, that's what we're going for. All right. Oh, I see some stuff going on in the chat. Hold on, here we go. What's happening here in this chat? This was Chat GPT. Probably Harsha. Do you know? Did you do it or did I do it? I might have done it. And let's see what I've got mine set on. It's oh heck, I don't even know. Does it even say up here? Oh, 4.0. Yeah, Harsha got it right. It's 4.0. Oh, can I go to? Oh.
Piotr has a hand up.
Oh yeah, Piotr.
And is there anything stopping us from having both drivers? Can we maybe combine these two and then having one, so everyone is happy?
Yeah. I bec Yeah, primary and secondary driver, or a an open driver and a smaller driver. I don't think, because basically when you craft a proposal, Piotr, when you're like, oh, I've got this great idea, and you come and bring a proposal, I don't think anyone would get too bummed out if you use this driver. That's interesting. Because I feel like I don't know. What do you all think? I'm curious about that. No thoughts?
I'm personally like okay with like using some of the words from 2025 in 2024, but having two drivers kind of like uh, might confuse things a
Yeah,
little bit, I think.
yeah. But the way I kind of think it might be used is just knowing that there is this, like, because I feel like this describes this. I like this as a driver because it's open-ended. But if you use collaborative problem solving, for instance, in your proposal and say, hey, I've got a proposal that's really directed at collaborative problem solving or experimentation or knowledge sharing, okay. So Monique has got sort of a suggestion to engage in um, collaborative problem solving and knowledge sharing. I like it. Ooh, let's just try what this might do. And do this. Okay. And let's change the color a little bit. Oh yeah. Where do you think it should go? Maybe down to empower individuals and organizations anywhere. We could just add another two statement.
I was going to say doesn't that kind of fall under to empower individuals and organizations? Like, wouldn't that be like a subsection
Yeah.
or a subset of it? That again, my opinion, but that's that's why I said that some of 2025 wasn't directly listed.
Yeah.
Or distinctly.
Empower individuals, organizations anywhere with collaborative problem solving and knowledge sharing so that we can. I like that it's an immediately thing that I recognized. It was all these two statements, these verbs to provide safe spaces, or to provide spaces to learn, to explore, to empower, and empower with with what? Collaborative problem solving, knowledge sharing. Like, and then we could shoehorn in with collaborative problem solving and knowledge sharing in blockchain.
So
No, it's
I
good. It's
just
good.
so I the exact thing about Cardano I did bring up last year, and like what I understood was that Cardano is under the hood and we don't explicitly have to mention it just in case
Yeah,
something happens, like we change chain, whatever happens,
right,
so
right,
it's not explicitly stated.
right. There are some implied things here. What's got to solve meaningful?
Oh, by the way, Kevin had his hand up. I totally like forgot. Yeah.
Oh man, just jump in now. You can come off mic. Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to take too much time, but if anybody wants
Oh
to
crap.
work on a little side idea, I can set up a node, a graph database where we use the wording in the driver description as nodes and make some kind of a meaningful chain of nodes with connections and then fill in the nodes with what we really did as Gimbalabs. That way you can make some kind of a visualization with the work that you did. As maybe you don't understand my idea, but I don't want to take too much time of the meeting now. But contact me on Discord if you want to know more of this idea.
And that would yeah, and please do. That sounds actually awesome. Like some type of mapping because it's basically all about aligning our efforts.
Yeah, it gives more
And
meaning to the words that are used. That's the idea
yeah,
here.
okay. You know what? I think, I mean, what I'd like to do, and I mean, I would propose, like, we'll continue to work with the map. We'll continue to work with the primary driver. I love Kevin's idea of a mapping exercise because it just gets us all involved in this. But at the moment, I feel like we can consent to this primary driver. And now I definitely, it doesn't, we don't need to rush to it because we can just come back to it next Thursday. Um, and it can be just sort of like the filler. I don't want it to stay this way, but if we don't have proposals, we can talk more about our driver. Um, but uh, but Kevin, I would love to talk about that in next week's Thursday space. Some type of mapping exercise, and I would be happy to get a proposal. Just a quick. It takes about it doesn't take very long to just draft a proposal and say, hey, this is something to bring and maybe work on together. Because basically it's asking for the time of, like your time and the community's time. Oh, and then yeah, so there's some questions. Kevin, what's your Discord handle? And Martin, where are we going to meet tomorrow as we wrap up? Kevin, what's your
Well,
Discord handle?
Jitsi.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Can you
yeah, Barreri.
can you send the link maybe on Discord or yeah, if you like, because I would like to join.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, it's already in Discord, the Dan Lion channel.
Oh, okay.
And I also included it in the proposal on
Cool.
Notion, but I can
Oh yeah,
also
here's
post
the
it in the
Jitsi link.
chat as well.
Here we go. I got it.
Nice. And apologize me for misspelling your name. I mean, I'm really bad at names.
Cool. What's this?
Sweet.
Oh, nice. And one other question, Kevin, what's your Discord channel? Like, where could we talk about the idea of a mapping exercise? It's B. This guy. Yeah. Do you guys got that? Okay, cool. All right, y'all. I do want to be mindful of the time. Let's sign off for now, and we will see you on the Discord and next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
See you.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Newman.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me shut off our
Oh, yeah, sorry. What was Kevin's